What's cracking, everybody? This is Louie Listens, and I'm Louie, and today I have a very special guest, my wife. We're listening to La Reina de Tejano herself, Selena.
Selena's. I'm the wife, and my credentials include a bachelor's in music ed, trumpet performance, a master's in music ed. I've been a band director, choir director, guitar ensemble director, orchestra director, elementary music teacher, and preschool music teacher. So I've got a lot of knowledge under my belt, a lot of experience. And I actually used to be in mariachi, and I used to play this song No Me Queda Más in that mariachi, so I also know this song pretty well.
I don't think I've seen this performance. I do know the song, but yeah, let's get into it.
Muchas gracias a todos ustedes. Thank you very, very much. ¿Están disfrutando, sí o no? Muy bien, gracias. Otra canción para todas las parejas. La canción No Me Queda Más.
She's got good stage presence.
Yeah, she's incredible.
No me queda más que perderme en un abismo de tristeza y lágrimas. No me queda más que aguantar bien mi derrota y brindarte felicidad. No me queda más si tu regreso y sería una imposibilidad. Y esto que no era amor, lo que hoy niegas, lo que dices que nunca pasó, es el más dulce recuerdo de mi vida.
I don't know how to describe her voice, but there's like this warmness and this like deepness to it. I don't think it's necessary. It's not that high, but like, I don't know. She's just that nobody. There's no one like her before her or since.
Yeah. I like to use the word soft when I think about her, and a lot of that actually comes from seeing the movie with J-Lo. And right, spot on, right? Like I get that. But when you compare the footage of J-Lo in the movie versus the real footage of Selena that is actually her, there's almost a softness in her face that
Mhm.
wasn't really there with J-Lo. And that softness also like transfers over to the music. She looks the way that she sings.
Mhm.
Her vowels, when she was singing the word vida, um, it almost kind of looked like her mouth was a little bit more horizontal, but it didn't sound that way. So, like, I can see in the way that she shapes her lips, and it could be like also her tongue placement, that the way that her vowels come out um, are just really full and they're really round, and but you can also see how much effort she's putting into those vowels.
Yo tenía una esperanza en el fondo de mi alma que un día te quedaras tú conmigo y yo guardaba una ilusión
The dynamics.
que alimentaba el corazón, mi corazón que hoy tiene que verte como su amigo. Y aunque viví enamorada y totalmente equivocada, no me importa, porque esto sí fue amor. Por mi parte, lo más lindo, el más grande amor. Y aunque siempre lo renuncias, para mí fue lo más bello.
I just don't want any more.
I think so.
No me quiero, like, I don't want it more.
I know it's a love song.
Here, our great grandparents grew up speaking only Spanish, and they didn't like that here in America in the school system. So our grandparents would get beat for speaking Spanish. So they spoke English, and so then their kids spoke English. And our generation, we know conversational Spanish, and we have a Spanish where it's like Spanglish. We have our own way of talking, but we don't have those Spanish roots anymore when it comes to language. So, we call them the Yo no Sabo kids. They just don't speak it because that's why. It's not like we didn't want to. It's that our parents grew up negative connotations for it. Speaking Spanish, just speak English. It's easier.
I always felt like it wasn't high on the priority list for our generation to learn Spanish. Like you were saying, the the older generations used to speak it, and then in the schools they had to start learning how to speak English. So that was a big priority in their lives, was that language. And so when it came to us and we were in school and we were speaking English, there was no real need for us to prioritize learning a different language.
Y aunque siempre lo renuncias, para mí fue lo más bello.
The instrumentation starts to be fun. I noticed, since I played this in mariachi, you have your mariachi instruments, you have your trumpet, you have your strings, which is basically the rest of the four instruments. But since this is now drums and keyboard, and a lot of the trumpet runs that I did were played by a flute. And I like that because it was very soft, since they're not the star of the show. She's the star of the show. And so you're still going to have those runs behind her, but there's not going to be this massive blaring brass that's going to outshow her. You're going to have that very sweet, soft flute sound. And then when she wasn't singing, they brought back the trumpets to cover those riffs. Not the whole time, but I noticed the difference in instrumentation versus when she's singing and when she's not singing. Their dynamics when she's singing versus when she's not.
Mm-hmm. They'll choose to bring the louder instruments open to fill the space between, and then when she comes in, they pull back and they play some of the softer instruments.
So if you could tell, he was already adjusted.
Yeah.
She was gonna come in.
En el fondo de mi alma, que un día te quedarás tú conmigo. Y aún guardaba una ilusión que alimentaba el corazón. Mi corazón que hoy tiene que verte como su amigo. Y aunque viví enamorada y totalmente equivocada, no me importa, porque esto sí fue amor por mi parte, lo más lindo, el más grande amor. Y aunque siempre lo renuncias, para mí fue lo más bello, fue lo más bello.
Her
Just that
phrasing.
smile, man.
Yeah. Her phrasing is incredible also. Like the song's been. So like obviously when she picked it up, She knew how it was supposed to sound. She knew how it was supposed to be sung. But the way that she kind of elongates some of the syllables, or the way that she puts in some like drops or some rises, um to kind of just portray a little bit more emotion, or portray um dragging something out, dragging a word out, or having it sit in suspense so that you just feel more from those words, and it's different than any other version of the song that you may have heard.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of that genius in the back is her brother, huh? Writing like a lot of the arrangements,
Yeah,
and her dad, I guess. But AB's the one I think of.
yeah. He was responsible pretty much for everything that made her unique, especially when it came to songs that were already written. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, all of her stuff, all of her originals were his genius. But when you have something that already exists, and you have something that people are expecting to hear certain things of, you got to put your own spin on it, and he was able to do that to match her personality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he really complimented her and all of her strengths. And what is 100% hers, her fit though.
Oh yeah,
She made all of
100%.
that
Yeah.
herself. And these are like it's got to be one of the most iconic looks of the 90s, right? This like sparkling purple. Is this she rode on the chariot in this too, didn't she?
This
Like just
dress is on display in her museum, actually.
Corpus Christi?
Yeah, it's in a big encased glass. You can go and you can see it. I think you can even, I might be mistaken, you can probably also see the chariot, the wagon
Oh
that
yeah.
she rode
She
in.
rode in on
Yeah.
we saw that I don't know if we saw that in the last video with the street champs or if it's the disco medley.
It's the disco because that's what she opened the concert with.
Oh, okay. So it's a disco medley. Cool. So we're gonna get to that. Um, yeah, just she's a queen. Like she really is. Just her voice, her stage presence, the performance, the brilliance of the songwriting, the experience that her dad brought, and the connections, and just all of this created one of the most amazing acts and one of the biggest tragedies ever in the music world. When it comes especially in the music world, um, just a hard hit.
I
And like
just, I think about what she would be now.
fashion queen, music,
Well, even what
movies.
everybody else would be because of her.
Hmm.
Like she would have kept going. She would have kept climbing. She would have been out of this world even more than what she was. And I just can't imagine that if the rest of the world had seen her as she continued to blossom, what it would have shaped us into.
Right? She made J Lo, but like, I'm kidding. Um, you're right. Like, you've got a lot of Latinas shaping this kind of music today and age, but yeah, I always wonder how the impact that this one person would have had if she was still alive. But yeah, anyway, if you like more Selenas, you're gonna have to get in the comments. Let me know, like, comment, subscribe, all of that goodness. Honestly, Selena, the last video I did is one of the best performing videos on this channel, with like 300 people a day still watching that video. 5, 6 months later, it's amazing. And I didn't want to just leave that. I want to continue with Selena and I want to look into more things. maybe watch a documentary or two. I don't know. But yeah, as always, you've been awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I've been Louie. I'll see you in the next one. You've got a lot of Latinas shaping this kind of music today and age, but yeah, I always wonder how the impact that this one person would have had if she was still alive. But yeah, anyway, if you like more Selenas, you're gonna have to get in the comments. Let me know, like, comment, subscribe, all of that goodness. Honestly, Selena the last video I did is one of the best performing videos on this channel with like 300 people a day still watching that video 5, 6 months later. It's amazing. And I didn't want to just leave that. I want to continue with Selena and I want to look into more things. Maybe watch a documentary or two. I don't know. But yeah, as always, you've been awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I've been Louie, and I'll see you in the next one.